Hello, good evening. I'm Shruti and I'm an MBA admissions consultant with GOALisB. And today I'm here to present to you the Deferred MBA program. First of all, what is a Deferred MBA? If you are a final year or a pre-final year student in India, the options for pursuing an MBA for you are you have two ways. So the first way is that you could write the CAT exam or the related exams like the XAT, SNAP, etc. And then you can apply to the 2-year MBA programs. Another option for you is to write the GMAT or the GRE test and then apply for the deferred MBA programs. These are admits options for final and pre-final year students to apply to a top tier MBA program where they can, once admitted, they can join the course after gaining the requisite work experience. So these programs are offered by various institutions across the world as a final or a pre-final year student. If you are writing the GMAT or the GRE, this is one type of MBA program which is very important for you to consider because it has a lot of allied benefits. One is that you will go in for a program which will be after getting certain work experience. So once you are going into an MBA post that gaining some work experience, you would have a fair clarity of what the corporate experience is like. You would also have a certain clarity on your career path as well. So when you take an MBA at that point in time, you are able to experience the program, the curriculum, the choose the electives, everything according to a certain long-term plan in mind. Whereas when you're going in with zero work experience, there are options that you will get which will be different from these programs. However, with zero work experience, your perspective will be certainly limited. So, what are the benefits of going to or opting for a deferred MBA program is first, you get a head start with your career plans. You get time to build your expertise before you join an MBA. So, the deferral period for most of these programs is anywhere from 2 years to 5 years. Depending on the program, depending on the school, you'll get this option. You have a clearer career path in sight, and there are certain very niche sectors which do expect you to have prior work experience. So there are sectors like investment banking or private equity or management consulting where your previous work experience will definitely add value. And this, of course, is a very good option for you to have a guaranteed admit to a leading MBA program across the world. There are right now, there would be at least around 12 to 14 programs that you can choose from for opting for a deferred MBA admit, depending on which situation you are in and where you have graduated from. Specifically, if we talk about the students who are international students, the options for them are as follows. You can apply to the ISB YLP. This is strictly for those applicants who are in the pre-final year or the final year of their graduation. If you are someone who has already graduated, but you have less than 24 months of work experience, you can go in for the ISB early entry option. So these are two options that you have in India. You do require a GMAT or a GRE score. We'll come to the specific application requirements slightly later on. The other international programs that you can apply to as a fresher, as being in your final year of your education, are the HBS 2+2. You can also apply to the Stanford Deferred MBA, MIT Sloan Early MBA program, and the Kellogg Deferred MBA, the Wharton Deferred MBA, School of Management Silver Scholars Program, Chicago Booth Scholars Program. The last two programs that I mentioned, they have two admission deadlines. However, the rest of them from Harvard Business School till Columbia Deferred MBA, they will have a single deadline that you can apply to. At Yale School of Management and Stanford Deferred MBA, you can apply to the Deferred MBA option along with the regular MBA application deadlines as well. The difference between the ISB YLP and the ISB early entry option is that you do require to be a graduate to apply to the ISB early entry option. These are two entry routes to the same ISB PGP program, but at different points in your career. The ISB YLP, the eligibility is for the final and the pre-final years applicants. The application process for is slightly different from the rest of the MBA programs. For you are in your final or pre-final year, you need to watch out for the stage one application. So this application process is in three stages. The first stage requires you to submit an essay along with your profile. That means your academics, your personal interests, your internships, a lot of details on that front. Once you submit that, you are shortlisted. If you are shortlisted, you will go to the second stage. At the stage 2 application process, for need a GMAT or a GRE score. Along with that, you need another essay and you need to also submit a letter of recommendation. So based on all of this information, there is a shortlisting process that there is an interview. So you will be called for the interview, which is conducted by the alumni panel. The stage 3 of the ISB YLP application process is the interview. The other option is the ISB early entry option. So this option is only for those people who have graduated, but they have less than 24 months of work experience. And the application process is the same as the ISB PGP. The only difference is that because of the lesser work experience, you will qualify as early entry option. The difference is that you will be joining the program, you will be joining the ISB PGP program once you have completed your 24 months of work experience. If you are applying this year to early entry option, you will be joining the class of 2026. So you will be starting your MBA at ISB in 2025. So this is the difference between the ISB YLP and the ISB early entry option. For the ISB early entry option, you will need the GMAT or the GRE score at the first application stage itself. So there are two stages. First is the application and second is the interview. For YLP, there are three stages. First is the preliminary application where you submit one essay. Second stage is the GMAT or the GRE score submission along with one essay and the letter of recommendation. And the third stage will be the interview process. You go only if you are shortlisted at the previous stage. These are the two options for deferred MBA for those who are based in India and looking at programs within India. Now, there are other options as well, which are the international deferred MBA programs. So internationally, you have up to 10 programs which are open to international students where you apply for a deferred MBA. If you are somebody who's graduating between 1st October 2023 and the 30th September 2024, you have a lot of options open for you to apply to. Another criteria is for the Berkeley Haas deferred MBA and the Yale School of Management deferred MBA. They have slightly different dates of eligibility. So if you're somebody who's graduating between July 1st, 2023 and September 30th, 2024, then you can also apply to the Berkeley Haas deferred MBA. For the Yale School of Management, August 1st, 2023 to July 31st, 2024 is the period of eligibility for applying to the deferred MBA Silver Scholars Program. The deferral period at most of the international programs is from 2 years to 5 years. At ISP, the deferral period is till you complete 24 months of work experience for early entry option and 20 months of work experience for the YLP applicants. And the deferral period for the Stanford deferred MBA program is 4 years. Applying to a deferred MBA program also has its own set of challenges. So what are the challenges that you face as an applicant for any of these programs? One is you have to be as competitive as the class profiles at each of these programs. Or they have their own averages in terms of the GMAT and the GRE scores, as well as in terms of this GPA, which has been selected for these admits. So you have to be competitive at all of these fronts. A second challenge is that the intake is quite limited. If you look at the Harvard 2+2 and the Wharton intake for the deferred MBA, it has been around 118 in 20. For the Columbia deferred MBA program, the intake was around 232. The rest of the programs, they do have a limited intake in terms of the deferred MBA admits. So on a profile-based application process, you do need to stand out in the application process without the work experience criteria. So you don't have work experience as a deferred MBA applicant, but you need to stand out on all the fronts which are applicable to the regular MBA admits as well when you are applying to the deferred MBA program. So this intake very challenging, but again very fruitful if you are able to get one, because we have discussed the benefits earlier. You will get a guaranteed admission to a top tier MBA program, and there's nothing like it to have a clear career path going forward. So what is the application process like for the deferred MBA applicants? The basics are the same as the other MBA admissions, which are profile based. That means you have to have a GMAT or a GRE score. You need to submit some essays along with there might be requirements of video essays as well. You need to submit an online application. Recommendation letters also need to go along with this application. You will have to undergo the interview process as well. So the application process, it is a very detailed process. Again, it is very lengthy. And if you're applying to any of the deferred MBA programs, you should first consider all of the options to apply to. Second, you should also have it in mind that the application process is going to be lengthy, it is going to be complicated, so that you start well in time. How do you stand out as a deferred MBA applicant? There are four things that you can start working on so that you stand out as an applicant for the deferred MBA program. First is your grades and the GMAT scores. The average CGPA at most of these top tier business schools is from ranges from 3.5 to 3.7. So if you have a strong CGPA, that is always going to be a plus. Again, the average GMAT at these schools is 720 to 740. So a GMAT score is going to be an important tool for you to stand out as well in the application process. The next important aspect is going to be your extracurriculars and the impact that you have had through your work. What are the things that you are passionate about? Have you been involved in sports? Have you been engaged in volunteering, entrepreneurship? So there are n number of options to consider. If you have been involved in any of these, try and ramp them up. Otherwise, try and start, building on these fronts as well. Another aspect which helps you, put up a very strong application is your international exposure. So international exchange, international education, or any other volunteering experience which you have globally is always going to be a plus in your deferred MBA application. And all of these are actually, important things for all the MBA applicants. However, minus the work experience part, these become even more important for the deferred MBA applicants. Another thing that you need to add to your toolbox is the internships. So get the relevant industry experience, look at the research opportunities available, look at the internships which you can get into, build your expertise and look into whatever technical skills you have built, how have you applied them in different situations. You can also actually intermix all of these as get some technical skills, get some certifications, and see if you can volunteer these skills for certain organizations. There are many combinations for you to look out and to try to see how you will, make an impact around you, at the same time excel as an applicant. You can always share your questions in the comments as well. We'll be happy to take them up. Some actionable tips for standing out in the deferred MBA application process is, first of all, start early. If you are planning to take up an MBA program, don't keep it to the last moment. You can probably write your essays and start with your essays later on, but there's a lot more homework that goes into preparing a strong application, which is, what are the activities that you have been involved in? Can you ramp them up? If you are in your third year and you're planning for an MBA in your final year, let's say, of engineering, and this is the time that you need to start for your profile, for looking at, what are the activities through which you can create an impact. Explore positions of responsibilities around you. Look at what all opportunities you have in college itself. Search out for global internships, for global research collaborations. If there's an international exchange opportunity, grab that as well. All of this is going to give you the exposure, give you the perspectives and the insights to stand out as a deferred MBA applicant. Focus on building your expertise. So if you have technical skills, and if you are pursuing a technical program, let's say it is a BCom, so focus on your finance and accounting skills. Or if you are pursuing an engineering degree, let's say computer science, then focus on your expertise, building your expertise through the technical skills as well. This is going to be very important. It is actually a very good signal which shows the outcome that you do everything very seriously. If it is just pursuing your BCom and then saying that, okay, this is something that I'm not very interested in, but I want to go to something else now, but that doesn't show a lot of focus. So focus on building your expertise. Start preparing for your GMAT or your GRE alongside either your CAT preparations, or let's say prior to that as well. The GMAT or the GRE, they are very different exams. They are very different from the exams that you're probably already preparing for, which is, let's say, the CAT exam. So when you are writing a test and you are planning to ace the process, at that point in time, preparation is going to be important. Keep that bandwidth that if you have to, write the GMAT or the GRE once again. So there are so many applicants who fill in their ISB YLP applications for the stage one and they are shortlisted. And that is the point in time when they start preparing for the GMAT or GRE, and then assuming that you will be done with your GMAT and GRE preparation in the last 2 months. that last 2 or 3 months is not very feasible for everybody. You have so many things to handle. You have your campus placements going on. You have your term examinations. You have internships. You have to focus on building your resume, your technical skills as well. So preparation for GMAT or GRE for you becomes equally critical, as critical as somebody who has work experience, because that is going to take time. It might need you to take some reattempts, so don't keep it pending for the last moment. You might not be able to make it at that time. Focus on building your profile as a strong applicant, and focus all the time, while you are in college, focus on building a strong resume. Your resume should speak about your skills. It should talk about the activities that you have been involved in, the interest that you have. Having an interest is one thing, and participating at a different level with your interest, basis your interest is going to be a different standout point in itself. So focus on building a strong resume all this while you are pursuing your undergraduate or your graduate studies. So sharing some deadlines over here, if you want to go backwards and see by when you be done with your GMAT or GRE for the international applications, it should probably be, by January, by January or February, you should be done with your GMAT. So if you want to, just back calculate and see as to when you should be done with your GMAT or GRE exam for these application rounds, in that case, it is safe to assume that you should get done by January with your GMAT or GRE. So let's say if you want a clear charter as to, how you should go along, let's say you are also preparing for the CAT exam. So once you have written the CAT exam, at that point in time, you get started, just build on that preparation. Get started with the mock tests and the specific preparation that you need for either the GMAT or the GRE, whichever you have chosen to write. And by January, you should plan to complete it, because if you are writing so many applications, all of these will have their essays. So you'll need time to work on these essays and build on your story with respect to each of these schools. School research is also a very important aspect that you should cover very thoroughly when you are applying to the deferred MBA program. So all of these things will take time. So completing your GMAT or GRE by January is a very safe way to go ahead with this. Even if you are planning for the ISB YLP, you should also look at the deadlines. If you look at the dates, the stage one dates are, the first round is on 22nd October, and the stage one itself, the second round application deadline is on 26th of March. So if you'll wait for your the results for the 26th March deadline to come sometime later in May, at that point in time, it will probably already be too late to start preparing for the GMAT. So the point that I want to bring home is that plan all your applications simultaneously, and go backwards. First, get done with the GMAT or GRE on time, so that you have the benchmark scores, you know that yes, you are well sorted, and then you are able to spend enough time on your applications. Going a year prior to that, if you have your eyes set on an MBA and a top tier MBA, you have an option as a final year graduate to apply to these programs and get there, provided you have worked on the profile as well. So the moment you start college is a good time for you to start preparing for your MBA dreams as well. Right, so this brings us to the close of this discussion. Some points, if I want to summarize, so if I'd like to summarize a few points that I've covered over here. One is that as a final year student, you have the option to write the GMAT and the GRE and apply to international programs as a deferred MBA applicant. As a deferred MBA applicant, you have the option to join their programs where you are admitted. You get a guaranteed admit at the initial onset itself, and you join these programs after you complete the requisite work experience, which can range from 2 years to 5 years, depending on the program that you have applied to. To apply to these programs, you need the GMAT or the GRE score, and you need a very strong resume, as well as minus the work experience. Everything on the profile should be up to the mark and competitive, so that you are able to achieve your dreams at this level itself. So thank you for your time and attention, and all the best for the preparation. Get in touch with us in case you need any assistance, or if you have any questions about the process, we'll be happy to assist you.